We invite you. Shalom, shalom. Thank you, brothers and sisters. We welcome you in the name of Yeshua the Messiah. It is our hope that you are all well, doing well under the mighty grace of our Creator. We invite you to the journey through the scriptures, where we are reading the scriptures from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelation within the 40 days. And we know that we are just on the 38th day, so we are just remaining with 2 days. And today we are in the...
My name is Zachariah Kahiu. We give thanks to abide to this far. Now in the book of Corinthians. You can also find us on our social medias, on Facebook at Messianic Davard Show, on YouTube at Messianic Davard Show, and also at Injili ya Milele ya Yeshua Messiah. When you do so, Yahweh will bless you.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Paul, called to be an apostle of Yeshua the Messiah, Corinth, to they that are sanctified in Messiah Yeshua, called to be saint with all that in every place call upon the name of Yeshua the Messiah our Master, both theirs and ours. Grace be unto you, and peace from Yahweh our Father, and from the Master Yeshua the Messiah. I thank my Elohim always on your behalf for the grace of Elohim which is given you by Yeshua the Messiah, that in everything you are enriched, so that you come behind in the day of our Master Yeshua Messiah. Elohim is faithful, by whom you are called out to the fellowship of his Son, Yeshua Messiah, our Master. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Master Yeshua the Messiah, that you all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that you be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. For it has been declared unto men, for it has been declared out to me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chilaos, that there are contentious among you. Now this I say, that every one of you say that I am Paul, and I am Apollos, and I am Cephas, and I am of Messiah. Is Messiah divided? Was Paul impaled for you, or were you baptized in the name of Paul? I thank Elohim that I am baptized none of you, but Cephas and Gaius, lest any of you should say that I had baptized in my own name. And I have baptized also the household of Stephanas. Beside, I know not whether I baptized any other. For Messiah sent me not to baptize, but to preach the good news, not with the wisdom of words, lest the stake of Messiah should be made none effect. For the preaching of the stake is of them that perish foolishness, but unto us we are saved, it is the power of Elohim. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribes? Where is the disputer of the world? Hath not Elohim made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of Elohim, the world by wisdom knew not Elohim. It pleased Elohim by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Messiah impaled unto the Jews, and a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called both the Jews and Greek, Messiah is the power of Elohim and the wisdom of Elohim. Because of the foolishness of Elohim is wiser than men, and the weakness of Elohim is stronger than men. For ye also, for you see, you are calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But Elohim has chosen the foolish things of the world to confront the wise, and Elohim has chosen the weak things of the world to confront the things which are mighty, and base things of the world, and things which are despised hath Elohim chosen, yea, the things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence, but of him that you are in Messiah Yeshua, whom of Elohim is made unto wisdom and righteousness and sanctification unto redemption. That according as it is written, he that glorifieth, let him glory in Yahweh. Hallelujah. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. And I, brethren, when I come to you, came not with excellence of speech or any wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of Elohim. For I determined not to know anything among you, save Yeshua Messiah and him impaled. And I was with you in weaknesses and in fear and in so much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of Elohim. Howbeit we speak the wisdom among them that are perfect, not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world, that come to naught. But we speak the wisdom of Elohim in a mystery, even a hidden wisdom, which Elohim ordained before the world unto our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew. For had they known it, they would not have impaled the master of the glory. But as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither had entered into the heart of man the things which Elohim hath prepared for them that love him. But Elohim hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searches all things, the deep things of Elohim. For what man knows the things of a man, save the spirit of a man which is in him? Even so the things of Elohim knows no man but the Spirit of Elohim. Now we have received not the spirit of this world, but the Spirit which is of Elohim, that we may know the things that are freely given to us of Elohim. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man wisdom teaches, but with the Holy Spirit teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man received not the things of the Spirit of Elohim, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritual discerned. But he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is just of no man. For who hath known the mind of Yahweh, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of the Messiah. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as spiritual, but unto carnal, even as unto babes in Messiah. I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you are not able to bear it, neither ye now are able, for you are not yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying and strife and division, and ye are not carnal, and walk as men. For while one saith, I am Paul, and another, I am Apollos, are you not carnal? Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos, but ministers, by whom you believe, even as the master gave to every man? I have planted, and Apollo waters, but Elohim gave them increase. So then neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watereth, but Elohim that gives the increase. Now he that implanted and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with Yahweh. You are Yahweh's husbandry, you are Yahweh's building. According to the grace of Elohim which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another build thereon. But let every man that taketh heed how he built thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahshua the Messiah. Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stone, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide, which he shall build thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Know ye not that you are the temple of Yahweh, and that the Spirit of Elohim dwells in you? If any man defile the temple of Yahweh, him shall Elohim destroy. For the temple of Yahweh is holy, which temple you are. Let no man deceive himself. In any man among you seems to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Elohim, for it is written, he takes the wise in their own craftiness. And again, Yahweh knows the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain. Therefore let no man glory in men, for all things are yours, whether Paul or Apostles or Apollos or Cephas, or the world or life or death or things present or things to come, all are yours, and you are Messias, and Messias is Yahweh's.
1 Corinthians chapter number 4. Let a man regard us as servants of Messiah and true trustees of secret of Elohim. For the rest, it is sought in trustees that those should be found trustworthy. But with me it is a small matter that I should be judged by you or by a man's court, by not even myself I judge. For I am not conscious of anything against myself, yet I am not declared right by this, but he who judges me is Yahweh. So do not judge anyone at all before the time, until the Master comes, who shall bring to light what is hidden in darkness and reveal the thoughts of the hearts, and then each one's praise shall come from Elohim. And these brothers I have applied in a figure to myself and Apollos for your sakes, for so that in you might learn not to think beyond what is written, so that none of you be puffed up on behalf of one against the other. For who makes you to differ? And what do you have that you did not receive? And if you indeed receive it, what do you boast as if you had not received it? You are already satisfied, you are already enriched, you have reigned as sovereign apart from us, and I prefer indeed you you did reign, that we also might reign with you. For I think that Elohim has exhibited us and the emissaries last as appointed to death, because we became a spectacle to the world, both to messengers and to men. We are fools for the sake of Mashiach, but you are wise in Mashiach. We are weak, but you are strong. You are in esteem, but we are not appreciated. Until the present hour, we both hunger and thirst. We are scantily clad and beaten and homeless, and labor, working with our own hand, being cast and barak, being persecuted, we suffer. Being insulted, we have been made as a field of the world, that wiped off by all until now. I do not write this to shame you, but to warn you as my beloved children. For if you should have 10,000 instructors in Messiah, yet not many fathers, so for in Messiah Yeshua I have brought you forth through the good news. Therefore I appeal to you to become imitators of me. For this reason I have sent Timotheus to you, who is my beloved and trustworthy son in the Master, who shall remind you of my ways in Messiah, as I teach everywhere in every assembly. Now some are puffed up as though I were not coming to you, but I shall come to you shortly, if the Master desires, and I shall know not the word of those who are puffed up, but the power. For the reign of Elohim is not in speech, but in power. What do you want? Shall I come to you with a rod, or in love and a spirit of meekness? 1 Corinthians chapter number 5. It is commonly reported that there is whoring among you, and such whoring as is not even named among the Gentiles, so as one to have his father's wife. And you have been puffed up, and did not rather mourn, so that he who has done this deed be removed from among you. For indeed, as absent in body but present in spirit, I have already judged the one who did this, as though I were present. In the name of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, when you are gathered together, and my spirit with the power of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, deliver such a one to Satan for destruction of the flesh, in order that the spirit be saved in days of the Master Yeshua. Your boasting is not good. Do you not know that a little leaven leavens the entire lump? Therefore, cleanse out the old leaven, so that you are a new lump, as you are unleavened. So also Mashiach our Pesach was offered to us. So then let us observe the festival, not with old leaven, nor with the leaven of the evil and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. I wrote to you in my letter not to keep company with those who hoe. I certainly did not mean with those of this world who hoe, or or with the greedy of gain, or swindlers, or idolaters, since then you would need to go out of the world. But now I have written to you not to keep company with anyone called a brother, if he is one who hoes, or greedy of gain, or an adulterer, or a reviler, or a drunkard, or a swindler, not even to eat with such as to such a one. For what have I to do with judging outsiders? Do you not judge those who are inside? But Elohim judge those who are outside, and put away the wicked one from among you. 1 Corinthians chapter number 6. Should any one of you holding a matter against another go to be judged before the unrighteous, and not before the Kodeshim? Do you not know that the Kodeshim shall judge the world? And if the world is judged by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Do you not know that we shall judge messengers? How much more matters of this life? If then you truly have judgment of this life, do you appoint them as judges who are least esteemed by the assembly? I say this to you a shame. Is it so that there is not a wise one among you, not even one who shall be able to judge between his brothers? But brothers against brother goes to be judged, and that before unbelievers. Already then there is a failure with you, that you have no sweets among you. Why not rather be wronged? Why not rather be cheated? But you yourselves do wrong and cheat, that to your brothers. Do you not know that the unrighteous shall not inherit the reign of Elohim? Do not be deceived. Neither those who hoe, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor homosexuals, nor thieves, nor greedy of gain, nor drunkard, nor revilers, nor swindlers shall inherit the reign of Elohim. And such were some of you, but you are washed, but you were made kadosh, but you were declared right in the name of our Master Yeshua and by the ruach of our Elohim. And all is permitted me, but not all do profit. All is permitted me, but I shall not be under authority of any. Food for the stomach, and the stomach for food. But Elohim shall destroy both it and them, and the body is not for whoring, but for the master, and the master for the body. And Yeshua who raised up the master, and Yahweh who raised up the master shall also raise up through his power. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Mashiach? Shall I then take the members of Mashiach and make them members of a whore? Let it not be. Or do you not know that that he who is joined to a whore is one body? For he says, the two shall become one flesh. And he who is joined to the master is one spirit. Free whoring. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, but he who commits whoring sins against his own body. Or do you not know that your body is the Mishkan of the Ruach HaKadosh who is in you, which you have from Elohim, and you are not your own? For you were brought with a price. Therefore esteem Elohim in your body and in your spirit, which are of Elohim.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter number 7 verse number 1. The word says, 7 verse number 1. And concerning that which wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, but because of whoring, let each one have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Let the husband render to his wife what is her due, or likewise also to the wife to her husband. And the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another, except with agreement for a time, to give yourselves of fasting and praying, and come together again, so certain that does not try you because of your lack of self-control. And I say this as a concession, not as a command. For I prefer that all men, even as I myself, but each one has his own gift from Elohim, one in this way, and after another in that way. And I say to the unmarried, to the widows, it is good for them if they remain even as I am. But if they do not have self-control, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. And to the married I command, not I, but the Adon, a wife should not separate from her husband, but if she is indeed separated, let her remain unmarried, or to be restored to the favor with her husband, and let the husband not send her away her wife. And to the rest I say, not the Adon, if any other has an unbelieving wife, and she thinks that well to live with him, let him not send her away. And a woman who has an unbelieving husband, and if he thinks well to live with her, let her not send him away. For the unbelieving husband has been kadosh in the wife, and the unbelieving wife has been kadosh in the husband. Otherwise your children would be unclean, but now they are kadosh. And if the unbelieving one separates, let him separate himself, and enslaved is such matters. But Elohim has called us to peace. For now, do you know of wife whether you shall have the husband, or do you know that your own husband whether you shall save your wife? Only as Elohim has distributed to each one, as the Adon has called each one, and so let him walk. And so in order to all the assemblies, was anyone called while circumcised? Let him not be uncircumcised. Was anyone called while uncircumcised? Let him not be circumcised. The circumcision is not, and the uncircumcision is not, but guarding the commands of Yahweh. It matters not to you, that if you are able to become free too, rather use it. For he who is called is the Adon, while as a slave is the Adon freed, and man likewise he who is called while free is a slave of Mashiach. You are brought with a price. Do not become slaves of men, brothers. Let each one remain with Elohim in that calling in which he is called. And concerning the maidens, I have no command from the Adon, but I give judgment as one whom Adon his compassion has made trustworthy. I think then that it is good because of the present necessity, that it is good for a man to remain as he is. Are you bound to a wife? Do not seek to be roused from a wife. We do not seek a wife. But even if I should marry you, you have not sinned. And if a maiden should marry, she has not sinned, but such shall have pleasure in the flesh, but I will spare you. As this I say, brothers, the time is short, so that from now on, and those who have wives should be as though they had none, and those who weep as though they did not weep, and those who rejoice as though they did not rejoice, and those who buy as though they did not possess, and those who use this world as not misusing it, for the sin of this world is passing away. And I want you to be without concern. Who is unmarried, concerned about that of the adorn, how to please the master, but he who is unmarried is concerned about that of the world, he how to please his wife. Therefore, it's the difference between a wife and a maiden. The unmarried woman is concerned about that of the adorn, that she might be kadosh both in body and in spirit. But she who is a restraint on you, but to what is proper, and attend to the adorn without distraction. And if anyone thinks he is behaving improperly toward his maiden, if she is past the flower of her youth, and so that it should be, let him do what he desires. He does not sin, let them marry. But he who stands steadfast in his heart, having no necessity and authority of his own desire, and has decided in his own heart to guard our own maiden, does well. So then he who gives her in marriage does well. But he who does not give her in marriage does better. And a wife is bound by Torah as long as her husband lives, and if her husband dies, she is free to be married to whom she desires, only in the adorn. But she is better off she remains as she is, according to my opinion. And I think also I have the work of Elohim. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter number 8, verse number 1. And concerning offerings to idols, we know that that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. If anyone thinks that he knows somewhat, he does not know yet as he knows he should know. But if anyone loves Elohim, this one is known by him. So then, concerning the eating of offerings to idols, we know that an idol is not in the world, and that there is no other Elohim but one. For there, even if they are so-called mighty ones, whether in the Shammai or on there, then there are many mighty ones and many masters. For us is there one Elohim, and the Father, from being offered to an idol, so their conscience being weak is defiled. But food does not condemn us to Elohim, for we are none better than we are than if we eat, not any worse for not eating. But look at it, to you who have knowledge, eating in idols' praise, shall not his conscience, if he is weak, and be built up to eat offerings to idols? So this weak brother, for whom Hamashiach died, and shall perish through your knowledge, now sinning is the way is this way against the brothers, and you're wounding their weak conscience, your sin against Hamashiach. Therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I never again going to eat meat, lest I make my brother stumble. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter number 9, verse number 1. Am I not an emissary? Am I not free? Have I not seen Yahshua HaMashiach our Adon? Are you not my work in the Adon? If to others I am not an emissary, I certainly I am to you, for you are the seal of my office, the emissary of in the Adon, my defense of those who examine me in this. Do we not have the right to eat and drink? Do we not have the right to take along a sister, a wife, and also to the other emissaries and the brothers of the Adon and Kepha, and do only Banaba, and have no right to refrain from working? Who serves as a soldier at his own expense? Who plants the vineyard and does not eat of its fruit? Or who shepherds a flock does not feed the milk of the flock? Do I say this as a man? Or does not the Torah say the same too? For it has been written in the Torah of Moshe, you shall not muzzle as an ox while it treads on the ground, on the grain. It is about the oxen Elohim is concerned. Or does it say it's because of all of us? For this has been written because of this, that the ploughs should plough in the expectation, and the dresser in the expectation of sharing. If we have sown spiritually among you, it is too much if we reap materially from you. If others share authority over you, should not rather we? But we do not have used this authority, but we put up at all, lest we hinder the good news of our Mashiach. Do you not know that those serving in the Mikdash eat from the Mikdash, and those attending the altar have their share of the offerings of the altar? So also the Adon instituted that those announcing of the good news should reap from the good news. But I have used none of this, nor have I written in this that it should be done so to me. For it would be better for me to die than to anyone should make make my boasting empty. For I bring the good news; it is not of boasting for me. For the necessity is laid to me, and it is woe of me, and I do not bring the good news. For if I do voluntarily, I have reward, but if I not voluntarily, I am entrusted with the management. But what then is my reward? Then is bringing the good news. I should offer the goodness of a Mashak without cost, as not to abuse my authority in the good news. For though I am free from all, I made myself a servant in all in order to win more. And the Yehudim I became a Yahudi, that I might win a Yahudi. To those who are under the Torah, as under the Torah, as to win those who are under the Torah. To those without the Torah, as without the Torah, not being without the Torah toward Elohim, but under the Torah of a Mashak, and so to us to win those who are without Torah. To the weak I became as weak, so as to win the weak. And to all I became all, and to save some, and by all means. And I do this because of the good news, and so as to become the thorough partaker with it. Do you not know that those who learn in a race, indeed they all learn, but one receives the prize? Learn in a such way as to obtain it, and everyone who competes control himself in every way. Now they do it receive corruptible crown, but we for an incorruptible crown. Therefore I learn according not uncertainly, that I fight not as the one who beats the air, but I treat my body severely, and I make it my slave, rest having proclaimed to others, I myself might be rejected. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter number 10 verse number, I heard the word of Yahweh says, for I do not want you to be ignorant, brothers, that all of your fathers were under the cloud, and all they passed through the sea, and all were immersed into Moshe into the cloud of the sea, and all they ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank the spiritual rock they followed, and that the rock was was Mashiach. However, the most of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were laid low in the wilderness, and all this became examples for us, so that we should not lust after evil, as those indeed lusted, and do not become idolaters, as some of them, as it has been written, the people sat down to eat and to drink and stop up to pray. Neither should we commit whoring, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 fell. Neither let us try Mashiach, as some of them also tried, and we destroyed, and they were destroyed by the serpents. Neither grumble, as some of them also grumbled and were destroyed by the destroyer. And all this came upon them examples, as they were written, as warning to us, in whom the ends of the ages have come, so that we who thinks he stands, let him take heed, lest he fall. No trial has overtaken you, except as such it is common to man. And Elohim is trustworthy, who shall not allow him to be tried beyond that what you are able, but with a trial shall make the way to escape, enabling you to bear it. Therefore, my beloved ones, free from idolatry, and speak to us to wise men, judge for yourself what I say. The cup of barakah which we barak is to not a sharing in the blood of Mashiach. The blood that we break is not the sharing of the breaking of the Mashiach, because there is one bread. We who are many are one body, for we are partake of the one bread. Look at Israel after the flesh. I'll not who eat the offerings the shares at the altar. What then do I say? That an idol is anything, or that which is offered to idols is anything? No, but what the Gentiles offer, they offer to the demons and not to Elohim. And I do not want you to become shares with demons. You are not able to drink the cup of Adon, the cup of the demons. You are not able to partake the table of Adon and by the table of demons. Do we provoke the Adon to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? And all has permitted me, but not all that we profit. All permittable to me, but not all build up. Let no one seek his own, but teach each one that of the other. You eat whatever is sold in the meat in the market, asking no questions, but because of science, for there the other belongs to Yahweh, and all that is in it. And if any of the unbelievers invite you, and you want to go and you eat whatever is put before you, asking no question on account of the conscience, and if anyone says to you, this was offered today to idols, do not eat of it, because of the one pointing it out to you, and one account of the conscience, for the earth belongs to Yahweh, and all of that fills. Now I say conscience, not your own, but for the other. For why is my freedom judged by another's conscience? But if I partake with thanks and with my why am I evil spoken of what that I give thanks? Therefore, whether you drink or eat whatever you do, in all that you esteem of Elohim, cause no stumbling either to Yehudim or to the Ammonites or to the assembly of Elohim. As I pray, as I also praise in all, not speaking my own advantage, but that of the many, that they might be saved.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, be followers of me, even as I also am of Messiah. Now I praise you, my brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinance as I delivered to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Messiah, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Messiah is Yahweh. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonors his head. But every woman that prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head. For that is even all one as if she was shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. For it is a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and the glory of Elohim, but the woman is the glory of man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of proved, may be made manifest among you. When you come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat the master's supper, for in eating everyone takes before other in his own supper, and one is hungry and another is drunken. What? Have you not houses to eat and to drink in, or despise you also the assembly of Yahweh, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. For I have received of the master that which also I delivered unto you, that the master Yeshua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup, when he had supper, saying, this is the cup, is the New Testament in my blood. This do you as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you have do show the master's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the master unwittingly shall be guilty of the body and blood of the master. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthy eateth and drinketh judgment to himself, not discerning the master's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the master, that we should not be condemned with the world. Wherefore, my brethren, when you come together to eat, tarry one another. And if any man hunger, let him eat at home, that you come not together unto condemnation, and the rest will I set in order when I come. 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Now concerning spiritual gift, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. You know that you are Gentiles carried away unto dumb idols, even as you are led. Wherefore I give unto you understanding that no man speak by the Spirit of Yahweh, called Yahshua accused, and that no man can say that Yahshua is the master but by the Holy Spirit. Now there are divinities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are difference of administration, but the same master. Now there are diversity. There are diversity of operation, but it is the same Elohim which works all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given by the Spirit of the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gift of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of the miracle, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirit, to another diverse kinds of tongue, to another interpretation of tongues. But all these works that one and the same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. For as the body is one and hath many members, and all members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Messiah. For by one Spirit we are all baptized into the body, whether we be of Jews and Gentiles, whether we are bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. For if the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not of the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now hath Elohim set the members, every one of them in the body, as it hath praised him. And if they were all one member, whether were the body? But now there are many members, yet one body, And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head of the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more fallible or necessary, and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. For our comely parts have no need, but Elohim has tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacks, that there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. And whether one member suffers, all the members suffer with it, or one member be honored, all members rejoice with it. Now you are the body of Messiah, and the members in particular. And Elohim has set some in the assembly, first apostle, secondly prophets, thirdly preachers, and after that miracles, then gifts of healing, helpers, governments, diversities of tongue. Are all apostles, are all prophets, are all teachers, are all workers of miracles, have all the gifts of the healings, do all speak with tongue, do all interpret, but covet earnestly the best gift, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Though I speak with the tongue of men and of angels, and have not charity, I become a sounding brass, or a twinkling cymbal. And though I have the gifts of prophecy, and understand all mystery and all knowledge, and though that I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains, and have no charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profits me nothing. Charity suffereth all, and is kind. Charity envies not. Charity values not itself, nor puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, seeks not her own, is not easily provoked, thinks not evil, rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Beareth all things, believe all things, hope all things, endures all things. Charity never fails, but whether they be prophesied, they shall fail. Whether they be tongues, they shall cease. Whether they be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when the face to face, now I know in part. But then shall I know, even as also I am known. Now abide faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is love.
1 Corinthians chapter number 14. Pursue love and earnestly seek the spiritual gift, but rather that you nabah. For he who is speaking in a tongue does not speak to men, but to Elohim. For no one understands, but in the Ruach he speaks secret. But he who nabah speaks and building and encouraging, and encouragement and comfort to men. He who you all speak with tongues, but rather that you might nabah. For he who is nabah is greater than he who is speaking with tongues, unless he interprets, so that the assembly might receive upbuilding. But now, brothers, I came to you speaking with tongues. I came to you speaking with tongues. What shall I profit you, unless I speak to you, either by revelation, or by knowledge, or by nabuah, or by teaching? Nevertheless, lifeless ones making a sound, whether flute or harp, if they do not make a distinction in the sound, how shall it be known what is played on the flute or of the harp? For indeed, if the trumpet makes a distinction sound, who shall prepare himself for battle? So also you. If you do not give speech by the tongues that is clear, how shall it be known what is spoken? For you shall be speaking into the air. There are undoubtedly so many kinds of sound in the world, and none of them is without significance. If then I do not know the power of the voice, I shall be a foreigner to him who speaks, and he who speaks to be a foreigner to me. So also, since you are ardent for spiritual gifts, seek to excel in the upbuilding of the assembly. Therefore, he who is speaking in a tongue, let him pray that he might interpret. For if I am praying in a tongue, my spirit is praying, but my understanding is without fruit. What then is it? I shall pray with the spirit, and I shall also pray with understanding. I shall sing with the spirit, and I shall also sing with understanding. Otherwise, if you barak with the spirit, how shall he who fills up the place of the unlearned say Amen? At your giving of thanks, since he does not know what you sing. For you truly give thanks well, but the other is not built up. I thank my Elohim, I speak with tongues more than you all, but in an assembly I prefer to speak 5 words with my understanding, that I might instruct others also, than 10,000 words in a tongue. Brothers, do not be children in understanding, but in evil be children, and in understanding be perfect. In the Torah it has been written, with the men of other tongues and other lips I shall speak to these people, and even so they shall not hear me, says Yahweh. So then tongues are for a sign, not to those who believe, but to the unbelievers. And Abba is not for unbelievers, but for those who believe. If then all the assembly comes together in one place, and all speak with tongues, and there come in those who are unlearned and unbeliever, shall they not say that you are mad? But if you all prophesy, and an unbeliever and an unlearned one come in, and he reproved by all, he is discerned by all. And so the secrets of his heart are revealed, and so falling down on his face he shall worship Elohim, declaring that Elohim is truly among you. What then is it, brothers? Whenever you come together, each one has a tehillah, has a teaching, has a tongue, has a revelation, has an interpretation. Let all be done for a building. If anyone speaks in a tongue, let there be two, or at the most three, each in turn, and let one interpret. And if there is no interpreter, let him be silent in an assembly. Let him speak to himself and to Elohim. And let two or three Nabim speak, and let the others discern. And if there should be a revelation to another who sits by, let them first be silent. For you are all able to naba one by one, so that all run and all be encouraged. And the spirit of the Nabim are subject to the Nabim, for Elohim is not of disorder, but of peace, as in all the assemblies of the Kodeshim. Let the women be silent in the assemblies, for they are not allowed to speak, but let them subject themselves, as the Torah also says. And if they want to learn whatever, let them ask their own husbands at home, for it is improper for women to speak in an assembly. Or did the word of Yahweh go out from you, or did it reach only to you? If anyone thinks himself to be an Abi or a spiritual, let him acknowledge what I write to you, that they are a command of a master. And if anyone is ignorant, let him be ignorant. So then, brothers, earnestly seek to naba, and do not forbid speaking in tongues. Let all be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians chapter number 15. But brothers, I make you known to you the good news, which I brought as good news to you, which you also received, and in which you stand, through which also you are being saved, if you hold fast that word I brought as good news to you. Otherwise you have believed in vain, for I delivered to you at first that which I also received, that Mashiach died for our sins according to the scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he was raised the third day according to the scriptures, and that he was seen by Kepha, and then by the 12. After that he was seen by over 500 brothers at one time, of whom the greater part remain till now, but some have fallen asleep. After that he was seen by Yaakov, then by all the emissaries, and last of all he was seen by me also, and if to one born prematurely. For I am the least of the emissaries, who am not worthy to be called an emissary, because I persecuted the assembly of Elohim. But by the favor of Elohim I am what I am, and his favor towards me was not in vain, but I labored much more than they all, yet not I, but the favor of Elohim with me. Whether then it was I or they, so they proclaimed, and so they believed. And if Mashiach is proclaimed that he has been raised from the dead, how do some among you say that there is no resurrection of the dead? And if there is no resurrection of the dead, then Mashiach has not been raised. And if Mashiach has not been raised, then your proclaiming is empty, and your belief also empty. And we are also found false witness of Elohim, because we have witnessed of Yahweh that he raised up Mashiach, who he did not raise up, if then the dead are not raised. For if the dead are not raised, then neither Mashiach has been raised. And if Mashiach has not been raised, you believe it is to no purpose, you are still in your sins. Then also those who have fallen asleep in Mashiach have perished. And if in this life only we have expectation in Messiah, we are all men the most wrecked. But now Messiah has been raised from the dead and has become the first fruit of those having fallen asleep. For since death is through a man, resurrection of the dead is also through a man. For as all die in Adam, so also shall be made alive in Messiah. And each in his own order, Messiah the first fruits, then those who are of Messiah at his coming, then the end, when he delivers up the reign to Yahweh the Father, when he has brought to naught all rule and all authority and power, who has to reign until he has put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy to be brought to naught is death. For he has put all under his feet. But when he says all are put under him, it is clear that he who put all under him is expected. And when all are made subject to him, then the Son himself shall also be subject to him who put all under him, in order that Elohim be all in all. Otherwise, what shall they do who are immersed for the dead, if the dead are not raised at all? Why indeed are they immersed for the dead? And why do we stand in danger every hour? I affirm by the boasting in you which I have in Messiah, sure our Master, I die day by day. If as men do, I have fought with beasts at Ephesus, of what good is it to me? If the dead are not raised, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. Do not be led astray. Evil company corrupts good habit. Wake up to soberness righteously, and do not sin, for some do not have the knowledge of Elohim. I speak this to your shame. But someone might say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Senseless one. What you sow is not made alive unless it dies. And as to what you sow, you do not sow the body which is to be, but a bare grain. It might be wheat or some other grain. But Elohim gives it a body as he wants, and to each seed a body of its own. All flesh is not the same flesh. The resurrection of the dead, it is sown on corruption, it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in disrespect, it is raised in esteem. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown in a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it has been written, the natural and the afterward the spiritual. The first man was of the earthly, the second man is the master from the Shemaim. And is the earthly, so also are those who are earthly, and as is the Shemaim, so also are those who are of the Shemaim. And as we have borne the likeness of the earthly, we shall also bear the likeness of the Shemaim. And this I say, brothers, that flesh and blood is unable to inherit the reign of Elohim, neither does corruption inherit in corruption. See, I speak a secret to you, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, we shall be changed. For this corruptible has to put on incorruption, and the mortal to put on immortality. And when this corruptible has put on incorruption, and this mortal has put on immortality, then shall come to be the word that has been written, death is swallowed up in overcoming. O death, where is your sting? O grave, where is your overcoming? And the sting of the death is the sin, and the power of sin is the Torah. But thanks to Yahweh who gives up the overcoming through our Master Mashiach. Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always excelling in the work of our Master, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Master.
1 Corinthians chapter 16, the last chapter, last but not least, verse number 1. Concerning the corrections of the Kodeshim, you are to do as I gave orders to the assembly of Galatia. Concerning one of the Shabbatot, let each one put aside storing any better cause, so that there are no corrections when I come. And when I come, whomever I say I prove by your letters, I shall send to you bear your gift to Jerusalem. And if it is befitting for me to go, they shall go with me, and they shall come to you when I pass through Macedonia, for I am passing through Macedonia. And possibly I shall stay with you, or even spend the winter, so that you send me forward wherever I go. For I do not want you to now on the way, but I expect to stay a while with you, if the Adon permits. And I shall remain in Ephesus until the festival of Sabbath, For a great and effective door has been opened to me, and many are opposing. And if Timotheus comes see and see that he is with you without fear, for he does not work of the adon even as I. Therefore, let no one despise him, and send him forward in peace, so that that he who comes to me, for I am waiting for him with the brothers. And concerning our brothers Apollos, I strongly urge to him to come to you with the brothers, but he had not the desire at all to come at this time. However, he shall come when it is convenient. Watch, stand fast in belief, and be men and be strong. Let all of the for Trinesis and Achaicos, for what was lacking on your part, they supplied, for they refreshed my spirit and yours. And ye therefore give recognition of such ones. The assemblies of Asia greet you. Aquilas and Prisca greet you in health, and they adorn, and with the assembly that is in their house. All the brothers greet you. Greet one another with a Kodesh kiss. The greeting with my hand shall all. If anyone does not love our Adon Yahshua Hamashiach, let it bring a curse. You all in Hamashiach Yahshua. Amen. We have come to the end of the book of Corinthians. That is 1 Corinthians. We thank Yahweh to where we are, and all esteem to him. And Yahweh is willing, by the next day after tomorrow, that we are supposed to have been finished the scriptures in 40 days. And Yahweh, I know that he is always there for us. And thank you for watching Injili ya Milele ya Yahshua Messiah, the Messianic Daval Show, and also as well as Yahweh Sacred Assembly Facebook pages, and the Messianic Daval, and also Victor Steinrin, Victor Kiiro. Yahweh do you good. And also for the conclusion, if there is one, to you, my brothers.
Thank you. Give thanks to Abba Yahweh for this far. Thank you. I've seen you commenting, for your likes, for your share. May Yahweh bless you. Also, don't forget to subscribe